Can someone smart tell me the difference between the passport bros and the male sapien colonizers that visited underdeveloped countries to pluck people out for services and sexual exploitation?
Hey, this is Raulh of Please Act Right. Every time I think I found a video of a woman saying something completely unintelligent, another one pops up. But this one, I believe, is the most unintelligent of them all. First, I'd like to give a special thanks to Winston and Douchebag. Yes, that's the name that was on the contribution receipt, Douchebag. Nevertheless, please know that your generous contribution is greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to contribute to my channel, I put the links below. Thanks, Douchebag. Now, with no interruption, let's see what she has to say.
Can someone smart tell me the difference between the passport bros and the male sapien colonizers that visited underdeveloped countries to pluck people out for services and sexual exploitation? What is the difference between the passport bros and the male sapien colonizers? Because what I can see is they both dehumanize people. The passport bros are dehumanizing women to the point of basically being used for their uterus and domestic capacity in the home. And outside of the job titles that the male sapien colonizers used, you know, they put the women and men to work in the fields. The passport bros want to put them to work in the bedroom and the home. So, what's the difference?
So, it's not obvious to her the difference between the passport brothers and the colonizers. Well, let me answer that for you, my dear. The male sapien colonizers that you are referring to in the past traveled to countries like Africa and took African people by force. That means against their will. They forced them into ships in shackles and chains against their will and put them in ships where there was very little ventilation and fed them just enough food to keep them alive. Some of them, when they saw an opportunity, fought to be free. But the colonizers had guns and regained control. Some of them even jumped overboard and drowned in the sea. I believe they knew death was better than bondage. The ones that stayed aboard were brought to the United States and forced to work out in the fields in the hot sun, day in and day out, never earning a penny for their labor, against their will. If any enslaved African rebelled, they were severely punished. And it was done in front of the rest of the enslaved Africans as an example of what would happen to them if any of the others would try to follow suit. They would also sell them apart if they noticed that any of the slaves were bonding together, because the colonizers knew that was the way to keep them weak. The African enslaved women were used as sex slaves against their will. You see where I'm going with this? They were also used in the slave master's house as cooks and maids to keep the master's house clean against their will. As a result, the male sapien colonizers got free labor and free relations for decades until slavery was abolished. Versus the passport brothers. A man from a first world country like the United States gets a passport and books a flight to a country of his choice, which may be a country that is of lesser economics than his own. Not to force those women into anything, but because those women are, until this day, still traditional women. When he gets there, he's free to roam about the country and interact with the people, including the women. Now, aside from sex trafficking, which passport brothers are not engaging into because he doesn't have to, they are interacting with women who willingly want to interact with them. They can either be girls who work in the bars or local girls who have jobs that are open to relationships with foreigners, which includes passport brothers. If a passport brother wants to deal with a pay-for-play, you know, a bar girl, he has to ask her if she wants to be with him for the evening. She has a choice of saying yes or no. You can't just pay for a bar girl against her will. Mama-san will not allow it. The young lady has a choice. On the other hand, there are regular girls that work regular jobs. If a passport brother wants to date her, she has the choice to say yes or no. She is not taken against her will. If she says yes and they hit it off, whether he stays in her country and they live together, or he brings her back to his country. She has made the decision on her own free will. Now, these women cook and clean automatically because they're taught to do that when they're young, because it's a part of their culture. They don't see cooking and cleaning as slavery, like the women do here in the West.
That most traditional Filipinas at least know how to cook very well. Maya already in the background this morning, already cooking. Good morning, Maya.
Good morning.
Actually, the kitchen is kind of off limits for me. This has become her kitchen, which is okay with me anyway. By the way, I was still laying in bed, and as I was half asleep and coming down the stairs, she already had my coffee. Now that's a good life. Alright, so the second thing that I really like about Filipinas is I don't know what it is, but they all seem to just clean. I mean, they all just kind of almost enjoy it. I don't know if she enjoys it, but she likes a clean place, you know. I mean, she's constantly mopping the floors or whatever. So I even offered to maybe like moving into this new place, which is really big. I offered to have somebody help come in and clean maybe once a week, and Maya's like, no need to waste money and have the place cleaned. I can do it myself. And Maya literally is up every morning, and she's like, before I'm even awake, she's already got coffee made, and she's like sweeping the floor and mopping the floor. She likes a clean place. In fact, I opened up the wardrobe locker, and all my clothes are all folded nicely. I mean, I usually hang everything up, but anyway, she went in and like folded it all.
I just can't sleep looking, knowing that your clothes are
She'd be restless all night. She'd have nightmares if she knew that my clothes were unfolded.
The women from those countries get with passport brothers on their own free will because they know that in most cases, their life is going to improve. None of the passport brothers have to go over there and force any of these young ladies to cook and clean for him or marry him for that matter. There are too many women over there that will do it willingly for the right passport brother.
And have you not noticed that a lot of your people in the Western world, they go to the Philippines to find us Filipina? Yep, that's right. And you know what I discovered in the Western world, especially Western women? Cooking for their husband is a big deal, and apparently it's hard to do. But for us Filipina, cooking is nothing. Cooking is super easy thing to do.
So to sum it up, the women in those countries have free will of choice when it comes down to dealing with the passport brothers or not. The Africans that were stolen from their land by the colonizers did not. This is Filipina P, who has a YouTube channel with about 146,000 subscribers. She recently interviewed two Filipino women who worked at the call center in Cebu, Philippines. These women had a choice on what they wanted to do with their lives. They both graduated from college, and they both chose to work regular jobs. Neither of them are married, nor do they have children, because it was their choice. A lot of these women have college degrees, but westernized women try to paint the picture like these women are dirt poor and begging for food. When P asked them would they be interested in dating a foreigner, which includes passport brothers, they both responded,
Do you have any preference, like racial? Yeah, like nationality. Filipino, foreigners.
actually I'm very open.
Very open for negotiation. Okay.
See, they're open to dating foreigners. When they were asked if the passport holder's race mattered,
How about blacks? They're like, so no racial preference, no national preference. I mean nationality preference. It's just
No, I'm very open.
as you can see, they're open to dating foreigners on their own free will. They're not being forced into it. And that's the difference between the passport brothers and the male sapien colonizers that you speak of. You see how these certain type of women are making these videos trying to make it sound like we're going over to their country, paying for them and forcing them to come back here against their own free will and forcing them to cook and clean for us and make them into sex slaves. So you ask for someone intelligent to answer. So there's your answer. Now go sit your ass down somewhere. It's amazing how they claim they just don't care about any of us getting passports and going to other countries and mingling with those women. But every time you turn around, here's another one making another video sounding even more unintelligent than the last one before her. And yet, here's another woman giving us a reason to go and get your, you know what, I'm not gonna even say it. Hey, somebody to tell you, and I love you, so it might as well be me. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. I post a new video every week. And in the meantime, will you please act right? My name is Raulh. See you in another video. So if you enjoyed this video, check out one of these 2 videos right here. I'm sure you'll enjoy them too. And if you like, you can visit my channel. I have plenty of videos there. Go ahead. Don't be scared.